Welcome back to the FITE Event Center as we continue to rage on. It's been a full day, it's been a full night, and now I'm very lucky to be joined by a Hall of Famer, an author, a bestseller, and one of the stars of Thuzio's Super Show tomorrow night, our sister company. This is Mr. Eric Bischoff. It's a pleasure.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Good to meet you. Heard a lot about you.
Oh, no, yeah.
So, you're right. I never have.
I know. That's okay. So I'm excited to talk to you. There's, God, we can go in so many directions. But first off, let's talk about the Super Show.
Right.
Because we all know Conrad has essentially built an empire.
Conrad Thompson, the Podfather.
Yeah.
Podmaster.
And also, he could, I guess, help you financially with your house.
And he can help you buy a house.
Yeah.
Save money by paying off your credit cards. Buy a new house. Roll your debts all up into one. All kinds of ways to make your life easier financially. Conrad Thompson.
And you know him so well. How does he find enough hours in the day to do?
I don't know that.
Okay.
I want whatever he eats.
Yeah.
Because the man just goes 24/7.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He really is.
And he's a natural host. The way he's able to, I guess just because it's like having a conversation with a friend, he's also not afraid to just call people on what he thinks might be BS.
He's a fan, and he comes at his podcasts from the perspective of a fan, not as a podcast host. He's not trying to make me feel good. He's not trying to make Jeff Jarrett feel good.
He's definitely
not trying to make Tony Schiavone feel good.
He's not trying to make you feel good ever, I don't think.
No, he's busting my chops, man.
Yes.
The first couple of times I did a podcast with Conrad, I felt like I was in a deposition with Jerry McDivitt from the WWE.
I've heard a couple of those episodes, and there were moments where I couldn't tell if you were enjoying yelling at him, but I could see where you were coming from, because basically Conrad was questioning creative and questioning decisions that were made when it comes to WCW. And at one point he just goes, "What's that all about?" And you just let him have it. And it was great podcast.
That's fun. It's fun. I've learned to love it.
Of course.
In the beginning it was a little rough. In fact, he almost quit after the third show. But we worked through it. We got through it.
Yeah. And now it's going great. And now tomorrow night, essentially, he's going to be hosting.
Right.
But what a lineup of guests. It's not just you. It's Double J, Jeff Jarrett, who we just saw create chaos at the end of the AAA show. I'm not quite sure what the reasoning was. Also, Jeff Hardy and William Regal. I mean, my God, that's a hit. That's a hit row right there.
Am I supposed to call him William or Steven? Because I'm conflicted.
I feel like you can call him what you prefer. I'm going to go with Mr. William Regal because that's what I know him as. You know.
From your experience with him.
I actually had to pick him up from the airport one time to take him to NXT television. And on the way there, he said, could we stop by? I need to get a steak. I said, okay. And we went to, I think it was like a local Lone Star. He ate 2 T-bone steaks without any difficulty in one sitting. And he said, I do this every day, and I feel strong as an ox. I said, I'm not going to.
There you go. We don't mess with what works, right?
No. Anyone who could eat 2 steaks in one sitting is a better man than I.
There you go.
So how excited are you for this show? I mean, you don't know what you're going to get when it comes to that kind of panel.
I got the best seat in the house, man. It's going to be awesome for me. I can't wait to hear what Steve Regal has to say. Steve Regal, we all of us, Jeff Jarrett, myself, Steve Regal, Jeff Hardy certainly, we all come from the business from a different perspective. We've all had such a vast array of experiences, but each of them very unique to our roles. So I always love getting into the head and hearing the stories from a guy like Steve Regal or Jeff Hardy now, who's, seen so much, done so much, and is at a very interesting point in his career.
He is.
He's a very cool cat, and I can't wait to hear him.
Jeff Hardy is definitely his own man, as attributed to how he left his previous employer. Not many people would have the moxie to do that, but Jeff Hardy, I guess he was at, you could say, his breaking point and said, you know what, I know the way I can get out of here, and that's exactly what he did, physically and literally.
There you go.
Which I imagine Jeff...
Hopefully he sticks around tomorrow for the entire show. Hopefully no one pisses him off, so he gets up in the middle of the show and walks away and does somebody else's live show. He's going to do our live show. I'm going to be very gentle with everybody on that panel, not just Jeff Hardy. I'm going to be in my best behavior. Damn it.
Which still is unpredictable.
No, it's not that good.
Now, also Jarrett, I mean, you guys have quite a history as well. What's it like? I've had great interactions with Jeff Jarrett, but by no means would I consider us strong acquaintances. But you know him very well. Jeff Jarrett's a very interesting cat.
Huh, yeah. I mean, that's what I was just saying a few moments ago. Here's Jeff Jarrett, little kid, little Jeffy Jarrett, little tiny Jeffy Jarrett, running around the Jarrett family backyard. Mm-hmm. Well, the family backyard is Jerry Jarrett's backyard. Little Jeffy Jarrett grew up in the wrestling business. He saw things.
Not to mention his mom was very much involved.
Yeah, I mean, this is a generational thing. And to be able to have that unique perspective and then tell those stories, it's always fascinating. Jeff Jarrett has forgotten more great stories than I've ever experienced.
Yeah, and the thing about Jeff Jarrett is every time I see him, there's a big smile on his face. Doesn't matter what's going on. And some people are saying, oh, Jeff Jarrett's having a career resurgence. To me, he's never stopped having a resurgence because he always finds something to do. If he leaves one place, guess what? Yep. He's doing this. He constantly reinvents himself. I mean, who would have thought Jeff Jarrett would be attacking Effie in GCW, but then again, now he's the last outlaw.
There you go.
Yeah. And so for you tomorrow, is there anything that you plan? Do you have a game plan, or do you go to a show like this?
I have no game plan. It's all improv, brother.
Yeah.
Conrad sat me down today and said, what should we do tomorrow? I said, we'll show up. We'll have fun like we always do. And that's not to suggest that there's no plan. There is a plan.
Conrad's plan.
But there's going to be, I mean, you know about the surprises already. We've announced them early on. But there are going to be even more surprises that I'm not giving away. Because I believe a surprise should be a freaking surprise.
Thank you.
A surprise should not be a hint.
No spoilers.
I don't want a hint. Yeah. No hints here. Bitches, none. No hints.
No dirt sheet reports, nothing.
All surprises. That's what you're going to get tomorrow, and that's going to be fun. But a lot of the fun of the show is the Q&A portion. And that's where the audience gets to decide what the show is. Because they're driving the questions. They're getting the responses. And my experience, we've done several of these now. But first one here on FITE. Excited. But it's a combination of great storytelling. You learn something. You walk away knowing more about the business after the show's over than you did when you got there, which is always cool. The other thing is it turns into stand-up comedy. Like, some of these stories are so funny, no one could write them. No comedy writer could write them. And that's fun. So it's interactive, it's stand-up comedy. And, oh, by the way, we got a guy by the name of Casio Kid going to show up. All right, warning, he's a stand-up comedian. If you've never seen him before, if you've never heard him before, Google him before you come to the show. If you have any of the following preconditions, if you have IRB, irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS, do not come to the show. Or if you do, bring a friend to help you get to the car.
And sit in the back.
If you've got weak core strength, meaning if you don't have a lot of, abdominal strength,
hernia,
be careful. Be careful about coming to this show. Any of the above. Because this guy's so funny that if you're not in decent shape, you won't be able to hold up.
And not to mention, William Regal's sense of humor is very understated. And the stories he has are going to be amazing. Have you seen him recently?
No, I haven't seen. I don't remember I talked to him recently, but I haven't seen him in a decade. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. So that's going to be a true reunion.
Yep.
There's no question about that. And the cool thing about William Regal is, we obviously recently saw him appear in AEW, and now he's there with Moxley and Danielson. But what was so endearing about Regal is what's always been endearing about him as an authority figure, or now I guess you can call him a manager, where his words really resonate with you when he said, I know I'm not long for this earth. And he believes that. And then he's like, that's why I want to make the most of every moment. And that's why he's in AEW now. And it's a beautiful moment that they brought him in. And now he essentially has the freedom to do other things.
I think it's cool. And he's right. None of us are here that long, right? It's a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And absolutely. Another way you could have said that is far less dramatic and not nearly as eloquent is live for the moment.
That's true.
Make use of every moment. So, yeah, he's an interesting cat.
And you were at the center, and I know you probably answered every possible question about that generation, that era. Are there any stories you get tired of telling, or are there any misconceptions that you're just kind of tired of hearing about? Because that era is probably the most talked about era over the past 30 years in wrestling.
If anybody brings up the finger poke of doom tomorrow, I can't promise you I'm not going to lose my stuff. I can't. I'll try. I'll try to control myself because I'm mature.
Yeah.
I'm really freaking mature, and I'm going to try to act my age, but I don't promise anything.
And that's where I give you a lot of credit, because you enjoy doing these live events that are going to be unpredictable. Like you said, they're all improv. Do you – how do you deal with the fans that are obviously trying to poke the bear? Is that frustrating?
I poke back.
Okay.
You don't want to poke this bear. This bear don't care. You poke this bear, you beware. Get it? You poke this bear, you beware. That's pretty awesome
And
here on FITE.
All going to happen live.
It's going to be a T-shirt.
That's right. Don't poke the Bischoff bear. That's a vicious bear right there. But the Truzio Super Show will be live on FITE. It's all part of the bundle. It's going to be Conrad Thompson hosting. Of course, you're probably going to help him with that because, obviously you're the more talented.
Can't help it.
Right, of course. So there's Eric Bischoff, Jeff Hardy, William Regal, and Jeff Jarrett.
Yep.
And then who knows? You guys are well known, so you never know who's going to show up and jump up on stage with you.
I do, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm out of here.
You heard it. There's going to be surprises. Bischoff's out of here.
See you then. Mess up his hair.
Oh, it's already messed up. I've been outside.